Kantipur Television SD has witnessed it all, from the armed rebellion launched by the Maoist Center to April uprising, and from the Constituent Assembly election to the country's transformation into federal republicanism. Throughout its 20 years of relentless service to the nation, Kantipur Television has stood firm in its dissemination of fact-based news as it prioritizes the concerns of the public sentiments while performing the role of a watchdog on the performance of the three tiers of the government. Good evening, I'm Amar Singh Pradhan, and these are the headlines of the hour. Nepal's livestock farmers incur a loss of about 50 billion rupees in 2 years in the face of lumpy skin epidemic. Farmers displaced due to lack of government support. Kantipur Television completes 20 years of broadcasting, prioritizing truth and fact-based news, commits to play a watchdog to public concerns and good governance. The visiting U.S. Assistant Secretary of State Donald Lu calls on Prime Minister Dahal, Foreign Minister NP Saud, among other top politicians. Wraps up one-day visit to Nepal. And Pakistan A settled for a 4-wicket win against Nepal at the ACC Men's Emerging Cup. Sompal Kami saves Nepal's blushers with a well-compiled 75 runs. Speaker Devraj Ghimire has made a ruling at the Parliament to be informed about the lumpy skin disease that has taken the form of epidemic in the livestock sector of the country. Speaker Ghimire's ruling came as the lawmakers demanded the government's response to the lumpy skin disease. The lawmakers blasted the government for its continued apathy even as the pandemic has dented the livestock farmers. The parliamentarians also demanded an immediate treatment of the disease, urging the government to make the vaccines available at the earliest. The lumpy skin disease that started from Kosi province 4 months ago has spread to different regions of the country, accounting for a collective loss of 37 billion rupees, while the disease has killed 27,000 cattle as of now. U.S. Assistant Secretary of State Donald Lu called on the Prime Minister, Minister for Foreign Affairs and other top brass leaders during his one-day visit to Nepal today. U.S. Assistant Secretary of State Donald Lu, who also looks into South and Central Asian affairs, paid courtesy call to Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal. Lu, during the meeting with the Prime Minister, offered his condolences to the demise of Sita Dahal, the spouse of Prime Minister Dahal. Prior to this, the visiting U.S. official also called on Foreign Minister NP Saud. The Foreign Minister sources have said that the meeting dwelt on implementation aspects of the MCC Nepal Compact. Lu also met with Nepali Congress Chief Sher Bahadur Deuba and UML Chairperson KP Sharma Oli. It may be recalled that Lu had taken a special initiative for the endorsement of MCC Nepal Compact and the much-debated SPP, or State Partnership Program. The U.S. Secretary of State returned from a Qatar Airways flight earlier this evening. Kantipur Television has completed its 20 years of establishment today. Addressing a function hosted today to felicitate the 20th anniversary, Chairperson and Managing Director of Kantipur Media Group, Kailash Siroia, viewed what he said the world of fake news won't last long and that the need of the hour was to prioritize fact-based news. Chairperson Siroia pledged to take Kantipur Television forward while saying that KTV has remained the top TV channel since its establishment.
News को खेतीहरु धेरै चाँडो इन्टरनेशनल न्यूजहरुमा पनि आउन थालिसक्यो अघि उहाँले पनि भन्नुभयो रिटर्सको सीओले सबे त्यो धेरै चाँडो नै सकिने वाला छ सो हामी हतोत्साहित नहौं र यही जोश जाँगरलाई अझ अलिकता चार्ज रूपमा अगाडि बढौं.
Likewise, Director of Kantipur Television Ganesh Agrawal said that KTV would continue to remain the #1 television channel of the country.
आत्तिनु पर्दैन, हाम्रो सम्पूर्ण टिम सँगै छन् र आउने दिनमा 20 वर्ष पुगेका हुँदाखेरि हामीले झन् अलि बलियो के रे जागर राखेर नम्बर 1 छौं र नम्बर 1 मा हमेशा राख्ने छौं भन्ने मलाई विश्वास लागेको छ.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive Officer of Kantipur Television, Sisir Pachai, viewed that despite challenges, KTV was capable to work under adverse circumstances.
का छौं चौबाटोमा उभिएका छौँ। एउटा यस्तो क्रस रोड जहाँ हात-हातमा क्यामेरा छ, पत्रकारको स्वरूपमा जथाभावी कन्टेन्टको थुप्रो, तिमा पनि नेगेटिभिटीलाई बढी जोड दिएर सोसाइटीलाई ड्राइभ गर्ने उद्देश्य देखिन्छ।
Likewise, Editor-in-Chief of Kantipur Television, Dilbhushan Pathak, expressed his confidence that Kantipur Television would overcome a flood of fake news that has overwhelmed the current Nepali society.
हामीले हाम्रो व्यावसायिक कौशलतामा, हाम्रो अरु प्राविधिक ज्ञानमा, अरु डिजिटल नलेजमा हामीले आफूलाई रिइन्भेन्ट गरेर दर्शक श्रोताहरूको बदलिदो स्वभाव र रुचिलाई ध्यानमा दिएर अरु धेरै अध्ययन गर्नुपर्नेछ।
During the anniversary function, journalists and employees were awarded for their outstanding contribution. Because Thabalia from the news department, Huan Pandey among district reporters were felicitated. Likewise, Siddhartha Vandari from finance department, Raju Karki from Kantipur studio, Rajesh Katwal from engineering and Ganesh Karki from the administration were awarded. The Central Investigation Bureau, or the CIB, in recent time has been intensifying investigations into controversial and infamous cases like the Lalita Niwas land scam and the fake Bhutanese refugee scandal. Corruption watchdog, the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority, the CIAA, meanwhile has remained a mere spectator despite its much sought-after role. Furthermore, the authorities' leadership has itself been alleged of involvement in the refugee scam. This has raised questions on the ethical aspects of the entity. Complaints had been filed in relation to those cases at the authority. However, the CIAA has been found giving cover to those alleged of involvement and putting on hold the fake Bhutanese refugee scam case. The authority also failed to initiate investigations into allegations of irregularities in the procurement of wide-bodied aircraft, security press procurement, Maoist combatants, and procurement of medicines and equipment during COVID pandemic. This has raised valid questions on the intention of the authority, leadership, and officials. The officials, meanwhile, have been dodging the questions on the pretext of lack of laws. There are currently 18,000 cases at the CIAA that have been left unattended. The authority has been limited to registering over 3 to 4 cases at the maximum at the special court per week. And in our public voice segment, we have asked in several provinces what should be done to make CIAA more effective. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
Public voice.
पार्टीगत भावना बगेर नेताहरूको घर दैलो चाहर्दै आयुक्तहरू गयो भने यो चाहिँ प्रभावकारी हुन सक्दैन।
दैनिक जसो चाहिँ अख्तियारमा मुद्दाहरू परिरहेका छन्, यो मुद्दालाई चाहिँ चाँडो किनारा लगाएर यसलाई चाहिँ अझ प्रभावकारी रूपमा अगाडि बढायो भने
केही भइहाल्यो भने छापा मार्नु भन्दा पनि बेला छड्के पनि अनुगमन गर्नु पर्यो।
अख्तियार छ भन्ने जनताको विश्वास छ, त्यो विश्वास चाहिँ कायम राखेर प्रभावकारी ढंगले अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ।
जसरी त्यो अख्तियार एकदम सक्षम छ, आफ्नो स्वतन्त्र छ, त्यस्तै त्यसमा भएको व्यक्तिलाई पनि स्वतन्त्र राख्नुपर्छ, कसैको दबावमा चाहिँ आउनु हुँदैन। सत्य तथ्यहरुमा गरेर कसैको ठुलो पहुँच छ भने त्यसलाई छोड्ने काम गर्नु भएन, निष्पक्ष हुनुपर्छ।
योग्य व्यक्तिलाई छनौट गरेर चाहिँ अब अगाडि कामहरु अगाडि बढाउनु पर्यो।
अख्तियार आयोग चाहिँ राजनीतिक क्षेत्र भन्दा बाहिर हुनु पर्यो।
भ्रष्टाचारको अखाडा बन्नु भएन, आफै
विज्ञ व्यक्तिलाई अख्तियारमा ल्याउनु पर्यो।
राजनीतिक दलको हस्तक्षेप बिना नि उहाँहरूले चाहिँ आफ्नो किसिमले काम गर्न पाउनुपर्छ।
आयोगहरु हुन्छ, त्यसमा राजनीतिक नियुक्तिहरु चाहिँ धेरै हुन्छ, त्यो चलखेललाई चाहिँ बन्द गर्नु पर्यो।
कहाँ के हुँदैछ भने त्यो निगरानी कडा राख्नु पर्यो।
पैसामुखी हुनु भएन।
नातावाद कृपावादमा नलागिकन समान रूपमा चाहिँ अनुसन्धान गर्यो भने चाहिँ यो प्रभावकारी हुन सक्छ।
अख्तियार दुरुपयोग अनुसन्धान आयोगको नजरमा सानो ठुलो मान्छे बराबर हुन्छ, सबैले बराबरै कारबाही हुनुपर्छ।
आयोग राजनीतिक हस्तक्षेपबाट पूर्णतया मुक्त हुनु पर्दछ।
And it's now time for international update. Indian Space Agency launched a rocket that will attempt to land a spacecraft at the lunar South Pole, an unprecedented feat that would advance India's position as a major space power. The Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO, rocket blasted off from the country's main spaceport in the southern state of Andhra Pradesh, leaving behind a plume of smoke and fire. The Chandrayaan-3 mission is designed to deploy a lander and rover near the moon's south pole around 23rd of August. The third Chandrayaan, which means moon vehicle in Sanskrit, includes a 2-meter-tall lander designed to deploy a rover near the lunar south pole, where it is expected to remain functional for 2 weeks, running a series of experiments. The ISRO Chandrayaan-2 mission in 2020 successfully deployed an orbiter, but its lander and rover were destroyed in a crash near where the Chandrayaan-3 will attempt a touchdown. Only 3 other space agencies, the United States, the former Soviet Union and China, have touched down a lander on the moon's surface. None have landed near the lunar south pole. And time now for our segment Public Pulse, where it texts us with their opinion.
Public Pulse.
And let's take a look at a response to yesterday's question. And yesterday we had asked you, what should be done to curb the losses caused by monsoon-induced disasters? 42% of you voted for option A, preventive measures, 31% voted for option B, efficient information mechanism, and 27% voted for option C, quality infrastructures. And time for today's question. And your question is, why has the government not introduced any relocation programs for farmers who incurred heavy losses in livestock farming? Your options are option A, not understanding the issue, option B, confusion in jurisdiction, and option C, lack of budget. The voting is on. Type in AWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us.
Sports News.
Nepal suffered a 4-wicket defeat against Pakistan A at the ACC Men's Emerging Cup. Electing to bat first as Sri Lanka's Colombo ground, Nepal were bowled out for a below-par score of 179 runs. The Nepali innings only lasted for 37 overs as all-rounder Sompal Kami saved the blushes of Team Nepal. Nepal lost their first 6 wickets within 10 overs and were reduced to 78 runs for the loss of 8 wickets at one stage of the innings. From this juncture, Sompal Kami put up an invaluable partnership of 58 runs with Pratish GC to resurrect Nepal's innings. Sompal contributed a top score of 75 runs, while Pratish GC made 26 runs. Sompal and Lalit Rajbangshi also added 49 runs for the last wicket partnership. Shahnawaz Dhani was the pick of the Pakistani bowler with 5 wickets, while Mohammad Wasim claimed 4 wickets. In reply, Pakistan chased the target in 32.5 overs, losing 6 wickets. Tayyab Tahir top scored for Pakistan with 51 runs, while Omer bin Yusuf scored 36 runs. Lalit Rajbangshi was the most successful bowler with 3 wickets, while Pawan Saraf picked up 2 wickets for Nepal. And those were our latest headlines. Up next is News in Nepali. Good night.